Hey, welcome to Dukes on Twitch. We are here for round 1 with Death and Taxes in Legacy, and this hand is fine. Turn 1 Vial. Revoker isn't dead in too many matchups, so I don't mind having at least one. And Recruit is going to be really nice, especially with the Vial, so I'm going to keep this. Ancient Tomb. Sphere of Resistance. Interesting. So unless we draw into the Ancient Tomb we don't have in our list, this Vial's not doing too much. So sadly here it's a Plains and Pass. Sphere really good on the play. Of course, if we got out this Vial underneath the Sphere, it would have been really nice. Main deck Sphere is always interesting. Trinisphere, okay. Well then. We'll go for Land Pass. Can't cast anything unless we have 3 mana. At least we do have a double Revoker, so if this is some sort of Karn deck, then we do have some ways of staying in this game. The interesting thing here is if I want to play the Vial, hold up Swords, or play a Revoker, naming something that I'm not too sure what's going to hit. I don't mind playing the Aether Vial here. So what happens with Sphere and Trinisphere is that Aether Vial costs 1 CMC, it now costs 2, and now it's still under Trinisphere, so it gets bumped up to 3 mana. It's not like it costs 3 and then an extra 1 for Sphere. So I'm just going to go with Vial and pass back. I think if this game goes long, which it might because my opponent has no threats out yet, we're going to be pretty happy with having the Vial there once it hits 2 or 3. Opponent now at 6 mana and nothing. That's really interesting. So maybe my opponent kept this hand that was threat light, thinking we were on some sort of combo deck, but also just because it puts them back so far. Stoneforge here is interesting. I don't mind Stoneforge for Batterskull because right now I'm not too sure what I want to name with the Revoker. I could in the blind say something, but I'd probably rather have it for the instant speed Vial next turn. Batterskull just means either way, even if the Stoneforge doesn't stick around, we do have a threat, which is really nice. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana for my opponent. A little bit scary. 8 mana. This could be something like Ugin. They're just going to cast Simian Spirit Guide. That is pretty hilarious. I'm not going to lie. The one nice thing here as well is that we just have the mana to play a spell under Trinisphere and then also hold up Batterskull. So this is pretty nice. And I think here the best play is just to Recruiter for Flickerwisp. Ah, it costs 1 more. Interesting. That's funny. Is it still worth it? I think I'm okay to pass here. We can hold up Revoker, and then also we can just Batterskull and then Recruiter next turn off the Vial. Map will most likely go and get Ugin, so I don't mind naming Map here with a Revoker. Wasteland's fine. Luckily our 5 lands have been just a bit of nothing. Only have to float 2 here, so it didn't have to float that extra 1. I could also just deal with the Simian Spirit Guide here to start getting in with everything, and I think that's okay. I think otherwise Swords Plowshares is a little bit dead in this matchup. Now this is an interesting one. I think I'm okay to keep this at 2. I'm probably scared of something like Walking Ballista or Ugin, so I'm going to actually keep this at 2. Stoneforge. Definitely attack with everything. Now they're at 10. So 4, 5, 6, 7. If I play Stoneforge Mystic here and get sort of Fire and Ice, then we have lethal next turn, which is really nice. Otherwise, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We still have lethal next turn if we play Recruiter for Flickerwisp. And also have Revoker, because that's 10 damage just by themselves. So I think here I'm going to Recruiter. Get Flickerwisp. And pass. Still holding up Revoker is really nice because it answers all Planeswalkers, it answers Walking Ballista. Not too many things my opponent could have. Maybe All is Dust, but outside of that, looking pretty good. So after a pretty scary start, luckily we get there. This matchup's going to be interesting. I think Cataclysm is a definite. I definitely like Council's Judgment as just removal for anything from an artifact to a threat to a Planeswalker, and then Leonin Relic-Warder. I don't think I want anything else. What I want to take out is pretty interesting. I think it's going to be the Mirrans. That could be wrong. Maybe they're just too good of a clock, but I think they don't have enough disruption. They don't have too much of a disruption element in this matchup. I still think Swords to Plowshares is irrelevant. They may be a Chalice deck, but hitting things like Thornot Seer, Walking Ballista, if they're playing Endbringer, I definitely want a way to deal with them. Mum's also a card that can come out, so maybe it's actually just bringing the curve up a bit, keeping the Mirrans in. I think this is okay. There's maybe merit to bringing in the Ballista if there's a case where we can attack Karn down to 1 and then just finish it off with a Ballista. I might even just bring in Ballista because it is a little bit more... it has more utility than probably the third Mirran, and it also lowers the curve just slightly. It's also a second creature that we can keep around with Cataclysm because we can call it the artifact. A very small advantage there, but I think what I don't want to do is keep a hand of just 3 drops. I think this is okay. Gideon's interesting as well, but I think because we're bringing the Cataclysms as well, we're happy to just go ahead with this. So this looks like some sort of Eldrazi post deck. And I do like this hand. The Wasteland and Vial are really nice. So I just hope my opponent doesn't start on Chalice, Sphere, or Trinisphere. Which they can do all 3 because of Simian Spirit Guard. Cloudpost Past is going to be pretty nice for us because now we get to play Vial. We could also Wasteland our opponent because maybe what I'm considering is if they have Sorcerer's Spyglass next turn, but I think I'm happy because we have that covered in these 2 removal spells. So Plains into Vial here sounds great. Next turn we can hopefully just Wasteland our opponent. And Cloudpost is probably the best target because over time it just adds so much mana to their plan. So now they have 3 mana. I would love them to cast something like a Trinisphere because we might be able to lock them out with Wasteland. Candelabra is pretty good. 4 mana. Lodestone Golem. Okay, interesting. I still think my Wasteland plan is just better. Next turn we can Relic-Warder the Lodestone, so I don't mind just taking them off this Cloudpost because it is essentially 3 mana with Candelabra. So I'm kind of taking them off of Mishra's factory there. Mishra's workshop. Apologies. Lodestone pretty interesting, and maybe I want to actually do it in a main phase to play Stoneforge Mystic as well. So I'm going to activate this, see if they do anything. There's no reason not to in any game of Magic. I'm a big fan of just activating Vial every turn, because then your opponent might just never react to the correct one. Wisp, okay. So let's go for activate Vial. Put in Relic-Warder. Trigger, target the lodestone. Play Stoneforge. Go and get Batterskull. I could get Sword of Fire and Ice, but I think Batterskull is just a little bit better. Especially with the Flickerwisp, if anything happens, we can reset it, hopefully. Candelabra are also a lot worse without some sort of soul land, so luckily our opponent just had Wasteland there. Two Simians, and maybe a Thought Knot or Karn here. Walking Ballista for 2. Okay. I think they probably definitely kill whatever they want right now, just to play around Flickerwisp next turn. This is pretty fine for us as well. Stoneforge found the Batterskull, which replaces itself. And with the Walking Ballista here, they've actually exiled 2 Simian Spirit Guides. So it's pretty much a 3 for none. I'm going to take this up to 3 because of the Flickerwisp. Prelate's interesting. Prelate is a card that right now I'm not too sure what I want to name. I definitely don't mind playing the Karakas because if they're wastelanding us, I'm more than happy for that. It's taking them off mana as well. We can definitely attack. I think I'm just prelating for 4. It stops things like Chalice for 2, which I don't really care about, but also stops Karn, the Great Creator, which maybe is a card that I care about. Also, if they wasteland us, I'm not too unhappy with actually flickering it out in response to save us. I think just holding the Flickerwisp for now is fine, although maybe I want to put on some more pressure. Thalia. Interesting. Gonna go to combat for sure. I think Thalia is actually quite good here, especially seeing that they're light on mana. What I could do at some point is also flicker out one of their lands, but I think for now I'm okay with this. I think now's the time to strike. I'm just going to take out their Wasteland and see if they use it or not. And they're just going to concede. So, luckily there, our opponent just didn't really have the start they wanted. They did start with a Cloudpost tapped, which isn't the worst if you have a great turn 2 play, but they had the Candelabra and that's about it. Unfortunately, in game 1 as well, our opponent just kept a hand that was quite disruptive for non-creature decks, but for us, we had those 3 planes, which are great. Aether Vial was fine, and then just having the pressure from Recruiter, Stoneforge, and Batterskull was really nice. So, pretty nice win here. Again, that I always like to win is against the post decks because sometimes those ballistas can come down as, you know, much bigger creatures than just 2/2s. And then things like Karn and Ulamog and Ugin are, of course, pretty good against us. So, nice win. We'll see how the next one goes. Thanks for watching.